What's up, Pokemon trainers? Welcome to another discussion video. My name is Blaze, and today we're talking about the Pokemon press conference that took place just a couple of days ago on May 29th. The Pokemon Company held a press conference to reveal some of the new initiatives and new games that were coming out that were Pokemon related. There wasn't anything there wasn't any major revelations that came out of this Pokemon press conference, but I do want to pull out four things I thought were very interesting about the press conference. So before any of that, though, I think it's a little strange that they even had this press conference in the first place. I mean, we've got the Pokemon Direct coming out next week on Wednesday, the 6th. I think that's the 5th, actually. But we've got the Pokemon press conference on the 5th. That's Wednesday. And we've also got E3 the following week. So, you know, I think having this press conference in the first place was a bold move, honestly. I was surprised they had anything like that now when E3 is just a couple of weeks away. But we got some new information on some new games that were coming out. So in just a couple seconds here, we're gonna show some of those new things off, and I'll kind of give you my hot takes on them and what I think about them and all that stuff. As always, I love talking to you guys. So if you have any comments, concerns, or anything you'd like to add, please post in the comments. I read all of the comments right now because I don't get that many. So I would love to talk to fellow Pokemon fans. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more content in the future. But let's go ahead and get things rolling here with the first of the items on the agenda is Pokemon Home. So this one is very interesting because it has a resemblance to Pokemon Bank, which I liked Pokemon Bank. I think there was a charge to use that service in the first place. It was like $5 for a year. And I think my $5 expired pretty recently, so I probably need to go back in there and renew it. I hope I don't lose my Pokemon, but maybe you know. Maybe you'll know if I lose my Pokemon or not, so help me out there in the comments. But Pokemon Home is very similar to Pokemon Bank, and I'm going to play the video here to kind of give you an idea of what I mean. But Pokemon Home will allow you to transfer Pokemon into a virtual environment, much like Pokemon Bank did, but you can also trade locally with people who are near you, and you can trade over the internet the Pokemon that are in your virtual environment. So you can take Pokemon from any of the games. I want to say it's Sword and Shield, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Let's Go, and I want to say some of the older games too, but I don't remember. So we're gonna play the video here to jog my memory. But I kind of like it. I just don't know what the service is going to cost, if anything. But let's go ahead and hit play here and see what kinds of things they talk about for Pokemon Home. I've got it muted right now, but let me unmute it here.
It's a place where all Pokemon can gather.
So it's a place where all Pokemon can gather.
It as a
it's a cloud-based service. So Pokemon Go. Oh, so Pokemon Bank works with it too.
And it will allow you to bring over the Pokemon that have
and then of course Let's Go and Sword and Shield. So this kind of gives you an idea of what exactly we're looking at. So any Pokemon that are in your Pokemon Bank will transfer over to Pokemon Home. And I've got a ton of Pokemon that I trained up from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, even from Pokemon Leaf Green and Ruby and Sapphire from the DS versions that are in my Pokemon Bank now. And I would love to carry those Pokemon over. I think one of the things I like about this is that the speaker, I can't remember his name, but he was talking about how the Pokemon that you've trained have kind of traveled with you throughout time. So the Pokemon that you captured in the original, Fire Red and Leaf Green games became your partner Pokemon, and many people grew attached to those Pokemon, and they kind of carried them into the new games and wanted to continue to train those Pokemon and use those Pokemon in the newer games. So just that concept alone is enough to make someone want to transfer it into a cloud-based system and use those Pokemon across any of the other games. I think that's a great idea. The one thing I'm not a fan of is Pokemon Go being a part of this. That's just my personal opinion. I know Pokemon Go is a fleshed out game as far as stats and everything go, but I always felt like it was more of bare bones, like stripped down version of Pokemon. So I kind of was, I guess in the back of my mind, thinking and hoping that it was kind of its own thing, and it was like its own universe, its own, you know, separated system from Pokemon, you know, Sword and Shield and Diamond and Pearl and Sun and Moon. I don't have any objections to Pokemon Go, Pokemon being in Pokemon Home and being able to transfer between any of the other games. It just makes sense. But initially, my initial thought was like, I don't know if I want Pokemon Go Pokemon to be in Pokemon Home, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm probably just like overreacting to it. It's totally fine. And Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee have shown that the stats are the same. It's just the Pokemon, the CP number, the CP level or whatever it's called, is just like a score or like a rating based on that Pokemon's individual values and IVs and whatever the case is. So that got confusing for me, but I think I understand it now, and I think I'm more on board with it now than I was last night when I watched this video. But let's carry on with the video here.
Nintendo 3DS, we created.
So yeah, any of these games transfer right over, which is cool. You can't see my mouse, I don't think, but I'm looking at Eevee, Pikachu and Eevee, Sword and Shield, Pokemon Go.
No, with Pokemon Home, we aimed to leave behind the boundaries of a single system and allow for players to connect with Pokemon Bank, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, the upcoming Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield games, and also Pokemon Go.
Yeah, so that's cool enough, I think.
Take great care to preserve the value that each of these Pokemon have to their trainers.
And it supports
and in the future,
updates for future Pokemon content.
Play with your Pokemon
That's cool.
will continue to expand even further.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Will also feature trading functionality, allowing you to trade anytime,
I remember this too.
As long as you have your smartphone with you.
I touched on this a little bit. You can actually trade with your friends, trainers nearby, or other players globally. So that's cool.
Over the internet.
I like that
Getting a large
idea.
number of people in a single location together to trade all at once is another cool feature we're looking into implementing. Pokemon Home.
Early 2020, so that'll be in the early part of 2020. First 3 months probably.
In early 2020.
I would guess March at the latest. So that's pretty cool. Before I embarrass myself even more, I do wanna remember this person's name. So Ishihara was the speaker for this event. So I'm probably gonna reference him a couple more times. I don't want to embarrass myself. So Ishihara.
On June 5th, next week, at 6 a.m. on Pacific time.
That is next week. By the way, folks, I will be live. Well, I won't be live on Twitch, but I will do a live reaction for this video, uploaded to YouTube next week, next Wednesday. Probably in the evening, because I have to work that day, so I can't be live for the reveal. But I will do a live reaction. I'll stay off the internet. I'll avoid all the spoilers and everything like that. But I will be doing a reaction video to the Pokemon Direct. I cannot wait. It's next Wednesday. It's going to be awesome. So make sure you stop by my YouTube channel next week.
Pokemon Direct, so please do not miss it.
So that's it for Pokemon Home. I think Pokemon Home is going to be pretty cool. I liked the idea of Pokemon Bank, and I love the idea of transferring my Pokemon from the old games through the newer titles and into the newest games. I actually wouldn't mind playing either Sword or Shield with some of my Pokemon that I captured in some of the older games. Maybe beating the Elite Four with my old team. That would be pretty fun. The downside is I have to get to a certain point in the game before I can even use those Pokemon, but I think it'll be pretty cool nonetheless. So that's Pokemon Home. Let's move on to the next game that was revealed at the Pokemon press conference, Pokemon Sleep. So this is probably the one that I'm most interested in, because I think Pokemon Sleep is a very unique idea, and I never thought about how a company would implement sleeping habits to a Pokemon game. So it's very interesting to me that this is the next stage of evolution for Pokemon, and it seems like it's going to be built into Pokemon Go, just kind of how they presented the information, but it might actually be its own thing too. So it's very interesting to see, and I should have known this was coming, because I know that there are sleep apps out there you can get for your cell phone that just sit on your bed and track your sleep habits. They're actually designed to wake you up at the perfect time, so that if you're like in the middle of a dream or something like that, the alarm won't go off. But once your dream is over, or once you're in a certain cycle of sleep, that's when it's more ideal to wake you up. That's when the app will wake you up. And I think Pokemon Sleep kind of works the same way. It'll kind of track what you're doing based on your movements and your sleep habits, and your REM cycles, things like that with your sleep patterns. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video, and I'll give you my reactions to this as we go. So turn the volume up here.
The game is being created with the help of Select Button, who developed Pokemon Magikarp Jump.
The Magikarp Jump people, yay!
The concept of this game is for players to look forward to.
So I want to talk about this a little bit, and I think here's the thing about Pokemon Sleep is that I'm really good at sleeping. So I've been sleeping since I was 6 years old, and I'm pretty sure that that I'm gonna be like all over the leaderboards on this game, because I mean I like sleeping. It's fun. It's an exercise for me. It does a lot for the brain to kind of, you know, change your to file away certain information and to retain memories and things like that. It's very healthy to sleep. Looking forward to waking up every day, I think, is a great way to kind of pitch this idea. And I think that while I do love sleep, I think too much sleep is probably a bad thing. So, you know, I'm kind of hoping that throughout the course of this game there are rewards for people waking up early, for getting your 8 hours of sleep and waking up at a reasonable time. I would hate to think that this game rewards you for sleeping as much as possible. And with the tagline here of looking forward to waking up every day, I think that's a great way to think about it. You know, we want you to look forward to waking up every day. So if you get a certain amount of hours of sleep and you wake up with the hopes of maybe catching a rare Pokemon, or maybe encountering a rare Pokemon, or maybe getting special benefits for your Pokemon Sword and Shield game. I'm not sure what exactly is how they're going to implement all of this, but or what the actual features are going to be. But I think that's a cool idea, is to encourage players to wake up every day. Waking up early, I find, is difficult sometimes, especially if I've had a rough week at work. But I think that encouraging that behavior is wonderful. I think that's a great idea. So I'm very curious about this game because I want to see how they implement this tagline of getting people to look forward to waking up early every day.
Pokemon Sleep utilizes
I like these these beautiful women stock photos they use for this. Oh yeah, beautiful women do it, so you should too.
We plan to release Pokemon Sleep in
2020. They don't really talk much about this, I don't think. They do talk about the Pokeball Plus Plus, which I think is coming up soon.
Pokemon Sleep. We are also working alongside Nintendo and Niantic to find more ways to turn resting into gameplay.
So this is where they talk about the Pokeball Plus, I think.
Come on stage to tell us more about a new device that they are working on.
Yeah, this is the device that actually.
Please welcome Mr.
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit so we can kind of see it. If I can find it here, give me a second. There we go. So this is the Pokeball Plus Plus. Pokemon Go Plus Plus. And this works with Pokemon Go and Pokemon Sleep. And this is the device that sits on your bed and kind of tracks your movements and decides when it's time for you to wake up, or decides when it should reward you with a Pokemon or something like that. I don't know exactly how it works or what it's going to give you. But it's a cool idea.
Use it as a Pokemon Go Plus while you're walking about during the day.
And it's cool you can take it with you too. I might actually get back into playing Pokemon Go with these new enhancements of being able to play Pokemon just casually throughout the day, and also being able to transfer my Pokemon into Pokemon Sword and Shield. I probably will play more Pokemon Go, but I've been avoiding it for a while. And this is a good idea to get people back into playing the game.
This is accomplished by the embedded accelerometer.
It's a cool idea.
And the results are sent to your smartphone via Bluetooth technology.
So it's a cool idea. I'm very interested in Pokemon Go and Pokemon Sleep.
Tracking features with the functionality
although I did see a couple of memes online where they missed an opportunity to call it Pokemon Nap, which would have been perfect because Pokemon Snap was one of the greatest Pokemon games ever, and Pokemon Nap would have been a great way to incorporate that. But anyway,
back to you, Mr. Ishihara.
Okay, so that is
Mr.
Pokemon
Maruyama.
Sleep, and I actually am very excited for Pokemon Sleep. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I don't know exactly what it's going to be about or what it's going to be like, but I think overall, I'm excited to see what they do with it and where they go with it and how it works and what kind of gameplay experience we can get from it. Of course, it's not going to like infiltrate your dreams and make you dream about Pokemon in like a virtual reality setting, although that'd be pretty cool. And I wonder if that's not too far off in the future. But that's probably like it's probably borderline invasive. But I mean, I want to dream about Pokemon, so it's not really like it's not bad. But anyway, let's move on to the next game that they talked about, which is Pokemon Masters. This is the game that is being developed by, I can't remember who's developing this, but this is the Pokemon Masters game. A new Pokemon project on smartphones begins, and this is a game where you actually take on certain like memorable trainers from the Pokemon series. It looks like it's a fighting game, like a battle game, so you actually take on trainers like Red, Misty, Cynthia, Lance, Brock. Named trainers throughout the Pokemon series will appear in this, and it seems like it is a fighting battling system kind of a game. And we'll go back to that video here. I'll show that off real quick so we can kind of see together what it's all about. But I am kind of excited about this. So I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but we do have your Pokemon. You have Cynthia here who's wanting to battle, Misty, all of these named trainers. And you can see here that I want to see what that said actually, because I feel like that said something important with the battle system here. So we've got Thundershock and a potion. There's also a couple slots down here for other attacks too, so I'm not sure what kind of things you'll be able to put on there. This Pikachu may not be a high level. Can't really tell. But if he's not, then that would explain why he only has Thundershock. So we've also got Misty's thing and Brock's thing over here. Looks like they're teaming up with you to fight these three trainers. So it's like a triples battle kind of. That's kind of interesting. I like that. I like the way this looks. I like the way the gameplay seems like it's going to be. We've got Brock who just goes Super Saiyan and takes his shirt off, which is kind of cool, I guess, if you're into that. I think there's some memes going around the internet right now with that. But launching in 2019,
Pokemon
this year,
Masters
I'm going to play this quite a bit. I think that's going to be really cool. I'm going to play it a lot, actually.
Calendar year 2019.
So it's very interesting to see what they're going to do with this. I don't know exactly how the progression is going to go, but it seems like it's going to be more focused on trainer battles rather than wild Pokemon battles, and probably no like open world exploration. But of course we don't know just yet what that's going to be. So very curious to see what they do with Pokemon Masters. But the gameplay videos we saw of that were very, very short, so I don't have any real opinions. The graphics look great. The gameplay looks fun. It's on a smartphone, so you can play kind of at your leisure when you're on lunch break or something, so that's kind of cool. And this is the other thing that I wanted to talk about real quick. The last thing, the fourth thing on the list that I really wanted to bring up, I'm very excited about, is this Pokemon shirts. I haven't been to the website yet, and I can probably go there now, but I'm actually really excited for this because I love the way these shirts look. I love collared shirts. I love button-down shirts. And I think these shirts look really cool, really stylish, and they don't look unprofessional. I think some of the shirts like this one here is very subtle with its Pokemon display, and some of the ones like this one are very obvious. But you can get shirts that actually look professional, and you can wear them to work, and you can wear them out and stuff like that, and people would have no idea there's Pokemon on them unless you look really closely. I think that's really, really cool. So it's by Original Stitch here in America, and I just think it looks really neat. So they said you can customize like everything about it, and I'm very excited to see what kinds of things you can do with it. So it's kind of a surprise move. I did not expect to see Pokemon shirts come out of this Pokemon press conference, but here we are, and it looks interesting. So There may be some of you out there who are like, I would never wear that to work, but I certainly would. I think it looks neat, and a lot of my coworkers actually like Pokemon too, so it's something that I think a lot of people enjoy, even if it's low-key. And I would not have known he was wearing a Pokemon shirt if he didn't say anything about it. So I think it's stylish enough and subtle enough that I think I definitely want to get a couple of them. So expect to see those on my channel in the future. I don't think they talk any more about Pokemon shirts, so I'm going to leave it at that. But I am actually very excited to see where they take that. And that's pretty much the end of the press conference. So anyway, that's... to recap, they talked about like 5 different things, like 2 of which I wasn't really interested in, maybe 5 or 6 different things, and 2 of which I wasn't really interested in. But the things I mentioned today I think are pretty awesome. They talked about Detective Pikachu, and there's a new game coming out for the Switch as well. I'm just going to touch on that very briefly. They talked about Pokemon Centers that were going to be coming out in different parts of, I think, China, with Pokemon, or with Nintendo, Nintendo stores as well. So those things were kind of not applicable to me because I don't really live in those regions, but it's very cool to see that they're really expanding this Pokemon brand, and they're really thinking about Pokemon as a brand, and it's really its own thing at this point. And I think it's going to continue to grow and continue to be more accessible by tons of other people. And while some of these things seem, you know, maybe kind of silly, I think that almost every single person knows who Pikachu is, and I think every single person who has played Pokemon has a favorite Pokemon. So honestly, I think the things they're doing are not bad. They're not detrimental to the brand, and I think that having different ways to engage in Pokemon is a great idea. In the past, you know, when Pokemon Red and Blue came out, we really only had... we were encouraged to trade with other people on a regular basis, but we really couldn't do that because it was hard to find other people that played the game. But Nintendo's doing a really great job of making the game more accessible and helping you to find other players, whether it's wirelessly through your cell phone or going to a Pokemon Center store, you know, playing Pokemon Go and just being out and about and seeing other people play Pokemon Go. I mean, there's ways to find other people much more easily than there used to be. So I think that's pretty cool. And the Pokemon shirts is only going to help identify other Pokemon fans. So, you know, I'm excited. I'm really excited for those 4 things I mentioned. Detective Pikachu might be cool too. I never played the first game, but let me know if you liked it in the comments. And of course, I'm going to end the video here. It's been a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but I'm going to end the video. I will be back with a Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct reaction video on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. It'll be late Wednesday night when that comes out, but it will be coming out, and I'm very excited to see what they have in store for that. Also, E3 is going to be live on my YouTube channel, so if you are planning on watching some of the E3 presentations, you can watch them with me on twitch.tv/L3LAYZE. I am off work all week, and I will be live for all of the presentations from E3, whether it's Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. Well, Sony won't be there, but any of the presentations that are taking place during E3, I will be live for all of those, so check that out. But I do want to thank you guys for coming by. You are the best part of the internet. Thank you so much, and I will catch you guys on the Flippity Flip.